Burnout. It's a struggle that a lot of us face. And even if you aren't facing burnout, at one point or another, you're very likely to confront it. But I think the broad term burnout can come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, right? It could be big, it could be small, it could be dreadful, it could be this mild annoyance, it could leave you paralyzed, or it could just sort of slightly slow you down. And I think most notably, it can be very apparent and clear, or it can be hidden. That's what I want to talk about today. Possibly the most detrimental version of burnout there is. Hidden burnout will strike quickly, go completely unnoticed. You're left there paralyzed. You're a shell of your former self, and you have no clue what happened. Hidden burnout is something that I have been facing for a while now. And today, in this video, I wanted to shed some light on this pretty difficult topic. And we're back. Hello everyone, my name is Nathaniel. I'm one of the hosts here at the channel, and I'm really proud to be bringing you guys another video in this sort of commentary-esque self-improvement series here on Rollsicle. For those of you that don't know, I put out a video a while back called Thief of Joy, and it was in a similar vein to this one. It was a very special project to me, and it was one of the most successful videos on the channel. I know that that video continues to change me every single day, and I go back and rewatch it quite a bit. And at the time, it reached and impacted a lot of others too. I really wanted to just take this moment to thank everyone for all the lovely support on that video, because it really meant the world to me, and I haven't had the best chance other than the comment section to say that. If you guys enjoyed this video and it speaks to you in any sort of way, or if you just want to support Ashley and I as we continue building this channel with all of y'all, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving this video a like, or leaving a comment down below letting us know what you guys think. We really could not do any of this without you guys, and I just wanted to say thank you for how awesome you've been. All right, that's enough self-promotion. Let's get back in today's topic. We're talking about hidden burnout. So let's give this video a little bit more context. Like I just mentioned, I wrote and uploaded a huge weight off my shoulders a few months ago in the video titled Thief of Joy. At that time in life, I was going through a lot of change, and in it, I was making some crucial, if harrowing, self-discoveries, and I'm really proud of how that video turned out, but I'm realizing now that I sort of jumped the gun at what I was saying in the video. I don't think that anything I covered was wrong, per se. I was just a bit oversimplifying the whole process, I guess I would say. I've listened to the video maybe 5 to 10 times after putting it out, and taking the advice that I'm giving to heart is a lot easier said than done. I find myself still facing most of the problems that I was facing at the time of making that video. And the solutions that I was presenting feel a little bit more like the ideal than tomorrow's reality. These last couple weeks, I've been feeling particularly down. Every so often, I'll feel like all of my hobbies and my enjoyments are just sort of a waste of time. They aren't very fun. I'll feel basically guilty for having the hobbies that I do, and I'm disappointed at my own hobbies at the same time. It's this really strange phenomenon, but it dissipates as quickly as it appears, so I've never really paid it too much attention. But a few weeks ago, I had to, because it shimmied its way back to the surface and has been bobbing along without a care ever since. This forced me to question what in the world was going on with me. I know I love my hobbies, or at least I'm pretty sure I do, right? There's no way I just suddenly lose interest in all of the hobbies that I love, right? Right? Well, I was right, but I was also wrong, sort of. You see, I have started resenting and turning away from my hobbies, but this transition has been anything but quick and sudden. My precious hobbies have been this buffet for a secluded, vicious beast, a monster with an appetite like fire tucked into the shadows, and this cruel being has been slowly and painlessly draining my enjoyment of life and all my hobbies, until one day I wake up and there's nothing left. Now, I'm choosing to call this enemy, this cruel beast, hidden burnout. So, how did I come to this discovery? Like, honestly, I owe a great deal to my wonderful partner in crime, Ashley. One day, I was telling her how I was having a hard time finding joy in my usual hobbies, and everything to me just felt a tad bit dreadful. And of course, being the wonderful woman that she is, she was extremely supportive, but most notably, she reminded me that she knows I love those hobbies. She knows that they bring me a great deal of joy, that they are my favorites, and in time, they will bring me that great joy again. What she didn't necessarily know is that this started forcing me to ask the question, why? Why am I not getting joy out of these hobbies? Why do I feel like putting time and effort into them is suddenly pointless? Why am I feeling so defeated? Why am I feeling this way? And eventually I got to an answer. Eventually, I saw myself with more clarity than I have in a long time, and it was a tough sight to see. The same person who has been the thief of his own joy has also been letting burnout eat him from the inside out until joy, happiness, peace, all these lovely things are fading dreams in the distance, replaced by distress, discontent, worry, and fear. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad that I caught it when I did, when healing still seems like a possibility, but I had to make this video. I had to make another video to help any of you that might be going through the same process or confusion. If you feel like you've let burnout or anything else sort of sap you of most of your joy and your interests and your passion and your hobbies, if you find yourself in this sort of monotonous daily schedule that you dread going through just to wake up and do it again the next day, then this video is for you just like this video is for me. Let's talk about some strategies to help put this fire out for good, and hopefully to start loving our life again. So what happened, right? Like if you've seen Thief of Joy, you have to be asking that question. At the end of it, I seemed so optimistic, so joyful, determined, and so much more. And I was, but what I didn't know was that hidden burnout was still eating away at me the entire time, and in those months following. If I'm being honest, it has basically halted all of the progress I was making towards self-improvement since then, and that is despite a great deal of effort on my part. In these last couple months, I would constantly be rewatching Thief of Joy or other videos online wondering why I haven't or couldn't just take my advice or the advice of others online. After all, I did a lot of research. I know that the advice I was giving and that others are giving is legitimate. Why isn't any of it helping me? Well, it turns out it was helping me. It's just not helping me faster than I've been letting burnout hurt me. Now, I say this in Thief of Joy, and I'm going to say it again here. Acknowledgement is the first step to healing, and it was time that I recognized that this burnout exists. The more that I milled over it, the more I realized I've known about this burnout for a long time. I just never wanted to admit it. See, as I mentioned earlier, I've had these moments where my hobbies will just sort of feel pointless for years now. I never wanted to address it as an issue, but it's been happening. Consequently, that means I also never fixed it because it wasn't an issue, and that's how we got here. So for me, this video stands as step 1, acknowledgement. This video is me taking steps forward and towards enjoying most of my life again by saying I have been facing a problem. If any of you are watching this feel similar, I invite you to join me in a little bit of self-reflection. Here are a couple questions I want you to answer honestly, and if it takes some time, pause the video and just reflect with yourself. And if you're religious like me, maybe reflect with God. What are the honest, true answers to these questions? Have you been enjoying your day-to-day routine? Are you happy with the way that you've chosen to prioritize your life? Are you proud of the determination and the focus that you're applying to your life? And lastly, are you feeling satisfied? I implore you to pause the video, go back and re-listen to those, whatever it is that you need to do to answer those questions honestly. But if you answered yes to all of those, I'm glad that you're here, and we need your advice because I'm not in that place. I'm not in a place where I can say truly to myself yes to all of those questions. So if you're like me and your answer to one or more of those is an honest no, don't fret. You're in the right place. Growth is part of life. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with us. It doesn't mean that we're broken or that we're messed up. It just means that we've let ourselves fall a little bit from grace. We haven't been fighting for the life that we deserve, and we've made the progress and the growth to realize that that is unacceptable. Everybody deserves to enjoy their hobbies. Everybody deserves to enjoy life, and we are no exception to that. This video is about fighting for that right. This video is about fighting for a right that has been stolen by burnout underneath the surface. And I want to take a closer look at each of those questions we just answered. Question number 1. Have you been enjoying your day-to-day routine? Did you know that most of us have a routine, whether we realize it or not? When we hear the words routine, maybe you're like me, and we tend to think of like a very niche style of routine. The whole wake up at 5 a.m., go for a run, read 3 books in the morning. By the time breakfast has come around, I've hit the gym twice, gone for a run, read 3 books, and completed a college degree. But that's not what I'm talking about here, right? Most of us have a routine more akin to this. Wake up when I do, roll out of bed, but probably after scrolling for who knows how long. Eat something that gets scrounged together either by yourself or a roommate or a friend or a significant other, and start wondering, what am I going to do today? You might get ready for school or work, and that's sort of it. By the end of the day, you didn't really have a plan. You don't really have a routine that you're proud of, but you still have a routine. I want you all to think about your daily routines. What is it that you really do? If you dig deep and think about it, what is it that you really are doing each and every day? Do you always check your phone the moment that you wake up? I'll be honest, guys, I have a problem of checking the YouTube studio as soon as I wake up. I love this channel, and I have a bad habit of always checking it as soon as I wake up. That's the first thing I do in the morning, and it's not in my top 3 priorities. Do you lay there on weekends for sometimes hours before you get up and do anything? Do you spend more time thinking about things you should do rather than doing them? If that hit a little close to home, it does for me too, don't worry. Maybe your daily routine includes a lot of analysis paralysis. Like I said, mine does. And if you have a daily routine that you're proud of, then you can pretty much skip this rest of the section. But I do want you to leave down below any tips or tricks that you have for the rest of us. If you're more like me, you're probably realizing that you've made a routine out of things you're not very proud of. I don't want to wake up and doom scroll. I don't want to lay there clueless. I don't want to spend more time choosing what hobby to do rather than partaking in them. Sometimes I spend more time dreading the gym than I spend in and going to the gym. That's just sad. So that leads us to the question, how do we fix it, right? That's the big question. But I don't want to make the same mistake that I did a few months ago in the Thief of Joy video. I don't want to sit here and pretend like I know the very simple, clear solution, because I don't think it's that straightforward. Instead, I think there are actions we can take and choices we can make that will gradually change our habits and our routines. You see, most of us want to change these habits, but when we try to change them, we actually try too hard. We set our sights at the end of the marathon, but by mile 2 or 3, we burn out. Get it? Burnout? I said the thing. Anyways, I want you to take a step back and think about how impressive it is to just run 2 or 3 miles. Did you know that about 5% of Americans could even jog that distance? Only 5. That's pretty dang impressive if you ask me. So instead of getting our hopes and dreams set on the end of the race, let's start with mile 1. What is one thing about your routine that we could change? My step 1 is going to be proper sleep and a consistent sleep schedule. I believe that I can make that difference without burnout coming from that change. So what is your step 1? You can write it down. You can take a mental note. You can leave it in the comments below. But make sure that whatever you choose to do, you remember what it is, and you start with that one simple change. Now, here's an important part, and I've run a couple of races in the past, so I'm speaking from experience. When you get to the end of that first mile, when you've made that change, you cannot think about all the miles that are left to come. That thought is burnout creeping in. I want you to say this to yourself as many times as you have to. I have made it this far. What's one more? I have made it this far. What's one more? You've already run a mile. What's one more? You've already made a change. What's one more? And you're on to the next change. You can do this. Now, it might take time. It might take multiple attempts, but you will get there, and you will stay focused on the changes that you've already made and the distance that you've already covered. Question 2. Are you happy with the way that you've prioritized your life? You know, I sort of hinted at this a little earlier when I talked about my prioritizations. That's a deep question though, right? And a tough one to answer, honestly. I know that I'm not happy with it, and all it took was a few questions I asked myself. I'm not promised tomorrow. Heck, I wasn't promised today. And am I really proud of the choices that I've been making? Am I really confident that my loved ones know who they are and know who I am? Have I made the most of my time here? Am I focusing on what really matters? Am I proud of how I'd be remembered? And most of my answers to those are not yes. I know that, and yet something hidden within me keeps me from changing. That's hidden burnout. That's what it looks like. I've worked so hard and burned myself out chasing dreams that don't really matter to me. I've worn myself to death trying to make my life feel worth it. So if that's you, let's take a few steps back and let's make a list. What are the top 5 things that you would prioritize right now, knowing that you aren't promised tomorrow? Again, write it down, take a mental note, put it in the comments below, whatever you have to, but here's mine. Number 1, I'm a proud Christian and a man of faith. My relationship with God is my number 1 priority. Number 2, loving my family and cherishing time and memories. The family I grew up with, mom, dad, Carly, Grammy, grandma, and everyone in heaven looking down, I love you guys. The family that I hope to start soon, Ashley, my partner in crime, co-host of the channel, and hopefully soon to be wife. I love you. I wouldn't be where I am or who I am without all of you. My number 3 priority is my friends, the ones I talk to all the time and the ones I don't. Either way, I should be reaching out more. I need to show you more appreciation. I need to cherish the time that I get with you. And I want you to know I couldn't imagine my life without you. Number 4 is health. A chain is only as strong as its weakest length, and our health is no different. Be it physical or mental health, taking care of myself and being there for myself will allow me a happy, productive, and meaningful life on this earth. And number 5 is being me. I have spent so long chasing dreams and ideologies of who I am supposed to be. Most humbly, I need to be wholly and unapologetically me. God put me here to be who I am. He put me here to be me. I love teaching. I love making content like this. I love spending time with others and so much more. And I need to learn to love being me. Those are my 5 things. Those are my 5 main priorities. So what are yours? Let me know down in the comments below, right? If you feel like sharing, no pressure, but I'd love to hear it. Now, just like before, I don't want to jump straight into spending all day on these 5 things. I don't want to burn myself out by overcommitting, right? But we want to make small steps towards focusing on these priorities every day. When you wake up in the morning, decide one thing that you could do or one thing that you could not do that's going to focus on each of your priorities. This could be as simple as telling someone that you love them, scheduling in 30 minutes for your favorite pastime, or even just making sure you don't get upset or get into a fight. These small changes lead to big results, and the key is to keep it up and fight against the burnout. So keep it simple so you can keep it consistent. All right, question 3. Are you proud of the determination and focus you apply to your life? Now, this one might not apply to everyone, but it applies to me. I value being determined. I value being focused. I associate being prepared and having a plan with success. I also value being a man of my word, a man that others consider honest and dedicated. But I recognize that these are the virtues that I seek out, not what everyone seeks out. So I'm actually going to change this question here to, are you proud of the person that others see you as? I want you to reflect on that for a moment. Are you proud of the person that others see you as? If the answer is no, let's talk about it. If you're like me, you've tried really hard to come across the way that you hope to, and sometimes to no avail. And trust me, I get it. That drives me insane. I really try to be honest. I try to be compassionate, caring, dedicated, and so much more. But some people in my life are just never going to see that. The idea of that alone has led me straight into a lot of deep moments of burnout. I've started asking myself if I'm even worthy of friends at all because a few people can't let go of a jaded perception of who I am. If you're in the same boat as me, I have a mission for both of us. You are not alone, and we will get past this together. Here's the mission. Let them go. One more time. Let them go. Their perception of who you are is not everyone's perception of who you are. Life is full of redos and starting over, so offer yourself that same luxury. Start looking to those in your life who do love you, those in life who do value you, and who support and challenge you. Look to those in your life that know who you are, and they value the virtues that are true about you. Now, at the same time, you still need to embody those virtues. It's time to be the kind of person that you want to be. And step one is letting go of the people tying you to your past. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to be graduating soon. I'm going to be moving away from college and moving away from a living situation that has been tying me to a past I've let go. Now, there's no better feeling than letting that weight off your shoulders and realizing you're okay. You're great. And you finally get to be you. All right, finally, on to our last question. Are you feeling satisfied? And I mean truly satisfied with everything that's going on in your life. I know what my answer is, and yet burnout convinces me that change would be too hard. Change would be a waste of time and it would be pointless. But that couldn't be further from the truth. See, I find myself paralyzed and helpless when I think about changing. But I know that I'm ready to change. I know that I'm ready for that change in my life, and I'm sure that you are too. Life is way too short to not be making the most out of every moment. That doesn't mean that you always have to be busy or that you always have to be booked, have your calendar full. But in order to find satisfaction in life, we do have to be intentional. We have to be present and there with those around us, there with what we're choosing to do. Just as before, it's about making small changes that will lead to a big difference in our life. Every day when you wake up, or the night before when you're going to sleep, think about one thing that you could do that day to be more intentional in your life, to be more present in your life, and to find more satisfaction. So here's an example. If I know that I'm going to have a busy day, and I'm not going to be home until late, I might decide to plan a short 30-minute period to play some video games, or I might intentionally look into some upgrades for my commander deck. I might even just plan a short time with my friends or family where I put my phone away completely. All of these will help me feel like I am much more intentional, present, and focused in my day-to-day life. I believe that this will help us feel more satisfied in the end. So is that it? Is this the end? Have we solved the problem of hidden burnout, and from this point on, we're going to feel absolutely perfect? I highly doubt that. In fact, I would go on to say I know that that's not going to happen. And here's why. See, I'm choosing to learn from my former mistakes and realize that this battle is all but won. This was a look into the battle that I've been facing, and I hope that this video has helped you realize whatever battle you may be facing. This video has also been a set of tools that we can apply in the coming months to help us win that battle. But victory only comes to those who choose to fight every single day. Victory only comes to those who persevere, who show strength, dedication, and determination. Watching one video isn't going to change you, and making one isn't going to change me. Now, that might be a tough pill for me to swallow, and it might be for you too, but recognizing that opens up our pathway to success. I want nothing but the best for everyone who watches this video, everyone I love, and even, yes, myself. I pray for each of us to find success and victory in our battles. But I'll end this video with one of the most crucial pieces of advice that I've received as a religious man with a lot of growing to do. When we pray for success, strength, determination, or courage, God doesn't give us what we asked for. He gives us opportunities to be successful. He gives us opportunities to be strong, determined, or courageous. Lord above, I pray that everyone whose hearts and eyes have been closed are open to the opportunities you've provided them. I pray that we are filled with a confidence to see our own strength and ability, knowing that we were made in your image. I pray that we seize those opportunities and that we never look back, because it's not our past that defines us, but our present choices that determine our future. I pray that... Did you hear that? It's our opportunity knocking. Don't pass it up. I love you guys. All right, quick end of video disclaimer here, guys. I wanted to say, one, I'm so proud of all of you and myself for getting this far. In order to reach success, accountability is everything. I want all of you guys to keep me accountable and vice versa. So here's my challenge and goal for myself and all of you. I challenge myself to make one of these style of videos a month. I'm going to keep myself on track, it's going to keep me accountable, and it's going to keep updating everyone on my journey. The catch is I want to hear from all of you in the comments on each of those videos. I want to hear how it's going. I want to hear how great you're doing, or if you've fallen, how we can help pick you back up. You see, God calls us to be one big family, to love another as we love ourselves. And that's what we seek to do here at Rollsicle. You might feel like life is impossible. You might feel like you're incapable of moving forward. But remember, all things are possible in family and in our God who gives us strength. Let's better ourselves and the world one video at a time.